Hello my lovelies, welcome back to the channel. I'm Rebecca Markelv and I am here, do you know, I'm going to butcher your name. I'm here with Tina Babajanians? Babajanians? Almost
Yeah.
close, there we go. And today we're going to be doing voice resonance today. So I'm going to let you take the lead now.
All right, so let's get started with just warming us up. The warm-ups we're going to do are similar, if not the same, as the first video that we did. So it's the vocal function exercises. They're a great way to warm up your voice. We had talked last time about the apps out there. So I like to use the Pitch app, but you can use any app that's a pitch tuning app to help you figure out what's the best place for you to start and to track your progress.
Right.
So just so that we can hear where you're at today, because our voices are dynamic. So where you're at today may not be where you're at tomorrow. And especially when you're warming up, I always say that's not, you know, it's not good to start with a cold voice. You want to warm your voice up. So
Okay.
Go ahead and take a breath and just give me a nice easy hum. Let's see where you're landing today.
Five minutes later.
Should I stop?
Yeah, you can stop.
Okay.
You're at C4. So that's a nice
Wow.
easy hum to start.
Okay.
Yeah, starting on C4. C4 is a very feminine range. So we're going to open that up into a nice easy E. So it'll sound like this. Let me turn up the volume on my pitch app. Me. And you can hold that for about 20 seconds.
Okay.
Perfect. Beautiful. So let's do that one more time. We're going to take a breath. Let's see if we can push it up to D4. Let me play that note for you. Try that note. Really good. So for people who are doing this at home, they can and when you're doing this on your own, you can hold that out until you run out of air.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go ahead and let's go into the pitch glide. So the pitch glide is basically like a stretch and a contraction for the muscles all around here for folks who are just tuning into this video and they haven't perhaps seen the first video.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm curious, Rebecca, are you still doing these exercises for your voice?
When I have really rough days, sometimes, but not very often, I should probably still be practicing, but yeah, not as often as I probably should.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that first pitch glide up and down on the sound M. So I'll demo and then you do it. So it's a big breath in. Try that. Beautiful. Now same thing on the N sound. Very nice. Yeah, no worries at the top. When you start to feel like you're about to break, you can stop.
Yeah,
Okay?
I felt a bit guilty for that one.
No. The interesting thing is if you notice that on the way up, you've got that little skip, but then on the way down, you're very smooth. So to me, that informs me that you're able to hit all the notes. It's just more training the higher notes to be a little smoother on the way up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by that, to be honest, that I didn't jump.
So M and N, as you know, but for folks who don't know, are very nasal sounds. So they're up here. We want to make sure that you don't end up with a nasal resonance when you're speaking. We want to have oral resonance. So let's go ahead and do a pitch glide up and down on the Z sound. It's a little bit limiting. So when you get to the top, if you feel like you're going to crack, just stop.
I think it's just trying to perform the sound. It's very tickly for beginning as well.
There you go. I mean, the whole point of Z and the other one that we're going to do, the Z, is to give you that big mouth feel, that big buzzy mouth feel, so that you can feel what it's like to start to work on pulling resonance from like the belly or the chest or the throat into this forward headspace. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's bringing that sensation up. It is definitely ticklish. Sometimes for me, it makes my lips really itchy.
yeah, definitely.
All right, so the next one is the DZ or the Z, as in the word measure. So
Yeah.
Try that. Okay, and the next one that we're going to do is going to be on the word no. So let's try that one. So this one is just open. It's not as restrictive. You might feel that you're getting higher on this one than the other ones. So give that one a try.
That's with the like null sound, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without the L at the end.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
Really good. Really good and smooth at the top. Try it on the knee. Let's do it on the knee.
Damn it!
Yeah, I heard that little dip down.
Yes. I hate that I'm still doing it.
Yeah, it's challenging. You know, I think what's happening is because like historically, if your larynx is used to carrying itself in a certain position,
Right.
I think it's like the muscle memory versus you consciously taking over your muscles and moving your larynx around. I feel like there's a bit of a battle. So in the beginning, people might experience a lot of these jumps and skips over certain notes or octaves.
Yeah.
But it's important for folks to pay attention to, how do I sound when I go up? How do I sound when I come down? Do either up or down have a point of like real smoothness? And just kind of recognizing that your body can make the sound.
Yeah.
But it's not the end-all be-all answer to, you know, feminizing the voice or speaking with your ideal voice. It's just one exercise that we do, so I don't want people to get caught up in it.
Speaking of the larynx, some people recommend trying to, well, mine's doing it a lot more frequently than what I would have done, but people would try and keep the larynx up and force it up, and so that'd be that sort of strain. And I'm wondering, what is your viewpoint on larynx and trying to encourage your larynx to be up? Because I think you might have said it's not a good idea at one point, but it just seems that mine is doing it on its own. I'm trying to keep it down so I can demonstrate, but I can't in this voice.
Well, so if you were to put your fingertips on your larynx and you were gonna glide up, you'll feel your larynx lift up and almost disappear. Try that. You feel your larynx picking up and then it kind of disappears?
Yeah.
So your larynx has to lift up, which then stretches your vocal cords and thins them out like a rubber band. And so that's how you're getting your higher pitched notes. As you learn to speak at higher notes, you're naturally going to start to carry your larynx in a higher position. But that's a result of deliberate training over a long period of time. So slowly you're establishing a new normal for your laryngeal position versus people who will tell you to like swallow and hold up here. Now you're forcing it up. You know what I mean? So now that's a forced experience versus like the muscles slowly adjusting and going, this is where I hang out now. And the difference is feeling and sounding strained and having a lot of fatigue, because holding it up here is really uncomfortable. I can't do it. It's really hard.
It's really hard up there. So yeah, I don't like that. I think it's like a portion of it is still there, like, but
when I talk down there, it's just very clear.
But when I'm talking there, it sort of like lifts up a bit. So I think, I guess over time,
it kind of becomes it's the new habit. It's the new we're reestablishing a habit basically, because now it's uncomfortable for you to drop low.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard. Like I have to think about it too, and my voice is sometimes it tries to pull back a bit like that, and then it's like sounds like this, and it's me trying to go back to this voice. I think, I don't know, it's really strange.
No, it's just basically your voice, your body's like, wait, we're not doing that anymore, we're doing this. So, which is, I think, you know, depending on the person and what your personal goals are, that's kind of neat that like now you have to overthink going back to your old voice.
Yeah, I still like to keep it as a skill set in some ways though. It's just fun for voice acting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's a personal choice how people want to manage their range. But these exercises that we just did to warm up are a really great way to keep the low end as well as the high end if that's something that people want to do. Okay, so now that we're warmed up, let's talk about resonance. So this is anytime anyone's going to visit a voice coach, voice therapist, speech therapist, or Google anything on YouTube, you're going to find that resonance is kind of the first thing that people target. So resonance is where sound is reverberating in the body, where you're feeling a lot of vibration. So a lot of people who come into voice feminization will find that they got a lot of vibrations in the belly or in the chest, right here, okay?
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to pull all of those vibrations to the front of the face, and we achieve that by starting to first hum. So that's why these warm-ups that we just did are kind of interesting. They sort of start warming up your humming. So let's just go ahead and find C4, for example. I'm feeling for a buzz in my lips.
Yeah.
You try that.
Oh.
Now what you can do, because sometimes people will feel like, oh, it's still in my chest, or I feel it in my throat. You can move sound around in your mouth as if you were chewing on air, okay? So one thing you can try is, you can dome out your lips, and sometimes that pulls that sound forward. You can also start to glide up a little bit, very slowly in pitch, and see if that brings more vibration to the face. So that's the most buzzy spot for me, and that lands on D4. So that that buzz is resonance. Okay, so we now know that when you're making sound, the vibrations are landing in the front. So the sound waves are kind of congregating in the front of the face and having a little party. So if you are having a hard time with it, you could close your eyes and almost imagine the inside of your mouth and try to pull your tongue forward, try doming those lips to kind of bring all that sound wave energy to the front of the mouth. And what you would do then is, because we're not going to go around humming all day, we want to actually be able to speak with the forward resonance. We're going to open up into a series of consonant vowel blends using the M consonant, and we're going to pair it with A, E, I, O, and U.
Yeah.
You're very familiar with this.
Yes.
Nay, me, my, mo, and moo. So let's demonstrate that for the people. So it's going to be on B3. May, me, my, mo, moo. So go ahead and try that. The idea is to keep that forward resonance even after you've opened your mouth and said may.
Okay. May. Me. My. My. Me.
Nice, really good. So from there, assuming that people are getting the may, me, my, mo, moo, we then want to start doing little short phrases together. Okay?
Yeah.
Can you kind of speak to what it was like when you first started working on resonance? What was that experience like for you?
I had oh goodness, I was trying to remember it now. I think I had a lot of concern about the way resonance was working, how I felt like some of it was in my throat and in my nose, and that kind of having to reassure myself that M is a nasal sound anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But is it also that you're trying to stretch it into a mouth resonance, I suppose, or front?
Right.
And I think, I don't know, I think there was just a portions of it where it kept getting higher and higher, and something didn't quite click, as I sort of said before, that kind of something clicks in where you just sort of like felt comfortable with something and then relaxed into it, I suppose. Like how I used to say D4 was my most comfortable at a nice high range, I think. What was D again? Like, and I can relax into it. And then I've dropped down to a C or a B now, but I don't know, it just drops into the back of my throat, I suppose, rather than to my chest. It's so
Right.
hard to explain.
So basically when we find a note that is kind of the most, we're finding a note that correlates with your big forward buzz, okay? But that doesn't mean that we stay stuck speaking in that note, because our voices, again, are dynamic. The idea is to keep the resonance forward as you just start to communicate. So you could be lazy and just let everything sort of drop down into your throat or your chest, and you sort of let go with your posture, and maybe it's the end of the day, you're exhausted, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to practice and be ideal, you want to have good posture, you want to have good breath support, and you want to be able to go through some words. Map, moon, mice. Try that. So I'm being really conscious about keeping everything lifted and elevated and forward. And it is a little bit challenging if you're not used to it. So try that. Your words are, what did I say?
Map, moon.
Map, moose, and mice.
Oh, moose. Okay. Map. Moose. Mice. I was trying to remember what the word was.
So from there, once people are feeling really comfortable with, you know, you're really good at humming, you can sustain your may, me, my, mo, moo, and you can do these like single words, then we'll go into phrases that have the M and the N as sort of a cue for going into forward resonance. Okay, so for example, we'll go, and everything's elevated, your resonance is forward, hammer and nails, hammer and nails. So everything is up and I don't feel any buzz in my stomach. I don't feel a buzz in my chest. And for the most part, I'm not feeling any buzz at my throat. It's at the jawline and above.
Hammer and nails.
Really pretty. Let's try Anna from Alabama.
Anna from Alabama.
Let's try climb the mountain.
Climb the mountain.
Very nice. So that's basically the gist of resonance, is the placement of vibration in your body being, when you're proficient at it, jawline and above and more forward. Like you said, with practice, you'll be able to sort of find your ideal resonance and then drop into it without it starting to go back into the throat or the chest.
Yeah, it's very hard to sing, I think, as well, because with singing, well, you're testing your range all over the place. And if I want to hit a low note, then it starts to get difficult because, I don't know, I can't even think of a song that would keep going low.
See, now that's going into a glottal that's what that sounded like.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's because
like
I can't.
Fry voice.
Like, sorry?
Like a fry voice versus an actual low note, because is different than.
Yeah, vocal fry is still something that I have problems with, I think, sometimes. I think because we've warmed up a lot more, it's not doing it as much. But I have a voice that sort of does that sort of sound quite a lot. So, yeah, I guess it's just trying to warm myself up more into that and try to speak more like this, I suppose, without trying to sound too forced. Very British sounding.
Very formal sounding.
Yeah.
When I do these, I feel like I sound like a newscaster. I'm like, hello, hammer and nails.
Hello, today's news. Yeah, no, I can't. I don't think I have it. You definitely do have that news anchor voice.
Well, Rebecca, I think this is probably a lot of information for everyone. So you know.
Yes. No. Thank you very much.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And again, just for the people who haven't seen the other video, where can we find you?
You can find me at TheVoiceStylist.com. I also have a YouTube channel that people can check out, and there's a lot of information on there as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So I shall see you for part 3. What are we doing next one? Sorry.
We're going to work on pitch.
Just pitch, okay. Fair enough. Well, thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. It's a bit weird sometimes when you do that, but yes.
That's your end.
I always get up close and I'm like, take care, and I just like look at the camera, but yeah. It's kind of my thing.
That's